Hello, my name's Niranjan, the host of Master of Your Crafts podcast. Learning from leaders who are continuously inspired, passionate, and driven to align with their soul purpose, sharing their gifts to bring healing to others. The music is composed by Rebecca Everett. Today is episode number 109, and I have the pleasure of sharing with you a conversation I had with Elizabeth Ann Atkins, a best-selling author, award-winning TV host, actress, and journalist who now teaches individuals to unlock their infinite potential to live and love in peace with purpose. Elizabeth and her sister Catherine created Two Sister Writing and Publishing, which has written over 50 memoirs, novels, business books, and poetry books since its creation in 2016. The tale of two sisters, Elizabeth and Catherine, have written and published dozens of books, including their mother's book, The Triumph of Mary, a memoir by Judge Mary E. Atkins. Their mother wrote her book herself, chronicling the controversial interracial marriage from former Roman Catholic priest Thomas Lee Atkins. Elizabeth has a master's degree in journalism from Columbia University and a bachelor's degree in English literature from University of Michigan. She has been a guest on Oprah Winfrey Show, The Montel Williams Show, NPR, and many other programs. As America's book coach, she helps inspiring authors achieve their dreams and become publishing authors. The best-selling author of 40 books, Elizabeth also co-hosts Am I Healthy Mind, a weekly TV show to shatter the stigma of mental illness, addiction, and abuse. Elizabeth's new book, The Bliss Tribe, Activating Your Goddess Power, inspired her popular podcast YouTube show, The Goddess Power Show. She is also a certified meditation teacher and wellness activist. I hope you enjoy the conversation. Hello and welcome to Elizabeth. How are you, Elizabeth?
I'm so happy to see you, Niranjan.
It's been a while since we've connected, so I'm glad
Yeah.
and grateful that you accepted this invitation. So thank you.
Yeah, I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you.
So we're going to go right in and just deep dive into these big, delicious conversations that I like to have with people.
Yes.
And we're going to start off with, what do you believe about yourself, and does it define who you are?
I love that. Wow, that's a deep dive.
It is.
So, what I believe about myself is that I'm a very free spirit, very unique and non-conforming to the template that is presented for girls and women. I came into the world that way. My father was a Roman Catholic priest in the 1960s who chose to leave the church and marry my mother, who was 25 years younger and Black. So it was an interracial marriage, but the bigger scandal at the time was him leaving the church to marry someone who was 25 years younger. And in my mother's book, The Triumph of Rosemary, a memoir by Judge Marylin Atkins, which is going to be a movie soon. You can read all about the details of it, but I was born to rebels, very gentle, loving, spiritual rebels who didn't care about the rules of the church or society, where interracial marriage was actually illegal in 16 states when they married. And they were in love, and that's all that mattered. So I was born of that union, and being a mixed race woman who most people think I look white, who identifies as a woman of color, I just walk through the world in a very bizarre and unique space. But as a multimedia creator, best-selling author, podcaster, I own a publishing company, speaker. I live to share the message for everyone to be their unique, authentic self. And that's what I am.
I love that. And it's so interesting, the influences that we have from our parents and even that genre and generational time of how it influences us after, long after everything has happened.
Yeah, it's just what I mean, I see myself as a human bridge, and I was blessed with the gift of writing skill and speaking ability and passion for messaging like that. And it's my life. And it's not, Naranjan, it's not just my life in books or podcasts or interviews. And I also do a TV show about mental health. It's not just about that, it's about my personal interactions that help make the world a better place. And it's just organically me. For example, I was on some customer service calls yesterday, and the gentleman that I spoke with, he's like, if you do nothing else today, you've done enough because you've been my best call of the day. You make me feel happy. You make me feel affirmed. I deal with angry people all day, and you just were this rainbow of joy coming through the phone.
Beautiful.
So you can't measure that in dollars. You can't measure that in the traditional ways that people measure success. But
Yes,
moments like that are golden to me
yes.
because I made somebody feel seen and heard and valued. Oh, it's going to make me cry, but I love doing that for people. And I do it organically. It's not like I'm out on a mission daily deciding, it just happens. But I do it for people who are typically the overlooked in our world, like cashiers or the janitor or people who get talked down to.
Mhm.
And when you acknowledge them as a human being with feelings and purpose, it's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. Like, you get a helper's high, but very importantly, you make them feel good. And then they're going to radiate that joy to everybody they encounter all day long. You
Right.
never know. You might be the nicest person they meet all day, and it might save their life.
Mm-hmm. 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 How beautiful.
I've seen that. If somebody's like having suicidal ideation and then suddenly somebody's nice to them, it could shift their whole mindset into survival instead of giving up.
Yes. Yes.
And we
And
all,
it's
as individuals, have that power with a simple smile or gesture.
and ultimately the caveat of being human. That's ultimately what we hear. Yes, we've got groceries to do. Yes, we've got laundry to do. We'll feed the kids and go to work and do all of that. But our real purpose, perhaps,
Hmm.
is to be kinder, is to be present, and is to be more loving to everybody, including ourselves.
Thank you. That's so huge. So, self care for me is a non negotiable that I often put above all else. It's a non negotiable that I'm going to eat healthy. It's a non negotiable that I'm going to drink my water. It's a non negotiable that I'm going to go to the gym and work out. It's a non negotiable that I'm going to set boundaries to keep negative people out of my realm. It's my lifestyle.
Yeah. And we were talking a little bit earlier before we hit the record button about sometimes it takes us what feels like a lifetime to really step into those decisions and go, oh, yeah, this is now who I am, what I am, and what I'm
Yes.
about.
Yes, I love that you said that because it took a long time for me to declare who I am proudly. I used to be uncomfortable talking about race when I was little because I was different. We were talking about having curly hair. Kids can be mean. You look like you stuck your finger in a light socket and,
Mm.
just mean stuff. And you want to fit in. And I grew up in an era when straight hair was vogue
Mhm.
and skinny girls were vogue. And I'm not skinny. I have a curvaceous body. And I never fit in any of those ways. And it was difficult. And I wanted to be like all the other girls until I realized it's more cool to be different, to be unique, to have a different lifestyle. And as a result, I've carved my own path. It's all unique what I've done, writing books, doing multimedia things, and having messaging that helps people in a specific way. Um, I beat to my own, what do they say? Beat to the
Yes.
rhythm of my own drum or march.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
I just love that. And the more we do that, the more it liberates other people to do the same.
That's right. That's right. It gives them that sense of courage to be able to feel the courage and feel the empowerment and feel that strength that we all have to be able to do that, to walk into a store and smile at somebody or be on a customer service call and have that lightning conversation.
Yes, yes, yes. It's awesome. Awesome, awesome.
It's beautiful.
So then when we make a habit of that or we cultivate that part of ourselves, it comes through in business. So I just got off a coaching call with somebody who was writing their book and stuck, and I helped her get her mojo back, as she said. She had lost her confidence. And so I help people feel confident and find their way and write their book. I'm a book coach, and it helps them get clarity, but most importantly, courage and confidence that they can actually write a great book.
Yes. Yes. And do you feel that that is potentially one of your callings?
Oh, absolutely. So I flunked pre-med in college. I wanted to be a doctor, but now I'm a healer with words. I help
Mm.
people find the words to heal themselves, and I write words that help people heal. I do that as co-creator of Two Sisters Writing and Publishing, which is at twosisterswriting.com. My sister Catherine and I created our company to celebrate diverse voices and mostly memoirs that are against the odds success.
Mhm.
I also do that with the Goddess Power Show with Elizabeth Ann Atkins, which is my podcast, and I help people turn their pain into power.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it's absolutely my mission. By telling stories, sharing our stories, we help ourselves heal and we help other people come out from painful places.
So important to be able to express that, and be it through a canvas or be it through words or audio in terms of music.
Mm-hmm.
There's many outlets, but the expression of it is very important and really crucial for our own healing and
Mm-hmm.
growth.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I'm so glad you're doing that.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And I've actually healed myself of a lot of anxieties and fears and even physical ailments through meditation.
Mm-mm.
I learned how to meditate in 2010, and I have practiced it since then, and it's healed me in ways that I can't even express, like ancestral wounds and anxieties that I've carried through life. It enabled me to heal and release them. And you can, through meditation, which is just magical, you can heal physical ailments without medication. Of course, if you're under doctor's care, continue that. I'm just saying, for me, I've healed migraine headaches with no medication and back pain when I had a gym injury, and it's really, really amazing. So, anybody listening, please learn how to meditate because it will change your life.
Absolutely. Well, we have everything that we need.
Mhm. We do. We do. But we're taught to trust what we can see, hear, touch, taste, smell with our physical senses. We need empirical evidence of things, and we rely on all external sources of validation and guidance. When really, like you said, all the guidance we need is within us because it comes from source. Whether you believe that's the universe, God, angels, ancestors, or simply your own mind, your higher self, it's there. You just have to quiet the noise, turn off the devices, go within, sit still, listen. And then once you listen and hear the guidance, then you have to use it because it's always correct. It always knows what's best for you. And once you start letting your inner compass whether you believe it comes from God or yourself, once you start to trust that and follow it, your life will change miraculously in terms of relationships, career, money, health, peacefulness. It's remarkable. But most people are so externally driven, and these little things make us even more so because we are looking at what other people are doing and what they're saying, not going within to decide what's best for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's also interesting how it's almost like the coin has been flipped the other way. So before, technology is brilliant, it's amazing, it's great. We couldn't have this conversation without it. Right? So
Right,
the likelihood of me meeting you is slim to nothing. You're all
right,
the
because
way out on the other side of America. I'm all over here in Canada. Just wouldn't have happened. As great as it is, there's been a coin flip, I believe, that's happened. We were previously in control of these devices. When to turn off the computer, when to connect to the internet, what does that look like? Whereas now they are controlling us for many people, because yes, we all have these devices, but many of them, for me, I can put my device away. Many of them have them as watches. So they are literally controlling you. A ping and a ding and a ring or anything that happens, you're instantly reacting. So therefore, these devices are now controlling us.
Wow, that is chilling. That's chilling. That's so creepy. I have crystals. I don't have.
Yeah, I choose not to purchase one as well. Yeah, yeah. Which crystals is a whole different charging mechanism in
Right.
itself, right? You're
Yes.
reconnecting with nature on a different level. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. I just thought that was so interesting how you can just see this evolution happen. And
Yes.
people are okay with it, but that's also based on the story that's been told, the
Mm-hmm.
narrative that's been projected, if you will, of
Mm-hmm.
you need this in your life, just as we were told we need this thing called a computer in our life. We can't operate it without it.
Yeah.
Well, we can.
Wow, great point.
So interesting. So, as an add-on to that, in terms of what you have crafted and how you've mastered the skill of supporting other people on their own journey to uncover and unravel some of the deeper wounds or deeper stories within themselves,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
or within their parents or their grandparents or their elders providing their present, to
Mm-hmm.
be able to capture all that and articulate it in a book.
Mm.
What do you feel are the attributes that connect you with your purpose?
Well, I'm naturally curious and it drives people crazy. Like around my family, I ask 10,000 questions and they don't want to answer because I want the details. I want you to take me there. I want to see it, feel it, smell it, taste it, absorb see the environment, the setting. And so it's just really natural for me to ask people questions. And I have this gift of being able to take their mountain of content, all their stories, all their history, and just chisel it down to the masterpiece that is the story they need to tell right now. Because a book only has so many pages, and you can only fit so many stories in the book that is still a legible, a desirable
Right.
amount. So, for example, this author, Joni Lindenmeyer, I coached her and she wrote a 500-page book. It was too
Mm.
big. So
Wow.
I, as her editor, pared it down to 300 pages and it's phenomenal.
Mm.
But we had to trim some stories. And so you have to think what stories best convey the life forward.
Mhm.
What can I leave out? It's fun, it's beautiful, but it's extra. So I have this wonderful instinct for paring down, leaving things on the editing room floor that are not going to pack the most powerful punch in the book. And so my gift is that I help people extract what is going to have the most powerful impact on the reader. Because what does the reader need to see? These stories all have a lesson. When you write a book, you're solving a problem for someone. It's either entertaining them, making them laugh, distracting them from reality,
Mm.
teaching them something, inspiring them, um, instructing them on how they can do something like how to run a business or how to be a coach or how to write a
Mhm.
book. And so I've just learned this really awesome skill that I've cultivated to help people streamline their content to present it in the best way for the public.
It's beautiful. And it is
Thank-
really a gift that you
Thanks.
have mastered over the years since I've known you, at least in terms of tweaking and going all the same time and really being open and receptive to the different types of topics that come in because everybody has a story or two
Mm-hmm.
that they may want to share. And
Yes.
especially over the last couple of years, perhaps people's vantage point of life and that story has changed. And to be able to capture that in a book, I think is really crucial because sometimes people may not want to have a face to face dialogue and an active conversation about it. Rather, it's in the book, and then maybe one day that person will read it, and maybe not, but it's there for their taking.
Right. Yes. Great point.
Absolutely.
So, writing a book is very therapeutic and healing because it helps you review what's happened. If it's a traumatic experience, it can help you purge it from your system, release it, and heal it.
Mm-hmm.
If it's something good, you can review it and say, wow, I did that. If it's something difficult, you can say, wow, I survived that. And look at me now. Look
Mm-hmm.
at what I've done ever since then, or how I've turned my pain into power, how
Right.
I created transformed a trauma into my life calling that I now have a business around.
Yes.
So, writing a book really can boost your confidence because it helps you see how far you've come
Yeah.
and all that you have done. And it helps you set the course for your future because life is finite. We only have X number of years and days to live. And so, what are you going to do from now until your last breath that you haven't accomplished yet? And when you
Right.
write a book, you see that you want to keep your story going and include some things that you've not yet achieved.
I love all of that. All of
Thanks.
that. What I
Thanks.
heard the other day from somebody was perhaps for many, it's not about the end game of what it's going to look like.
Mm-hmm.
What's the cover going to look like? How many copies am I going to sell? All of that. Rather, it's about the journey to write it
Mm-hmm.
and
Yes.
that growth and evolution and reflection and ahas and all of those pieces in between. Perhaps it's more about that than anything else.
It is. We're so caught up in the destination in anything that we're doing, whether we're trying to lose weight, write a book, save money, finish school, so caught up in the destination that we lose track of and discount the years it can take to get there. And then you
Yeah,
look back and like, oh my gosh, I wasn't present in those moments that were a gift. That's why it's called the present.
that's right.
So
Yes. Yes.
the more you can celebrate those moments, the triumphs, and also getting through a stressful situation with grace
Mm.
and giving yourself credit for that, the more you can do that is just makes your life happier so you can look back on it and feel good about it. And all the people you encounter in the meantime, they feel better too.
Even the people that are on the other side of the phone on a customer service call.
Yes, exactly.
Because
Yes.
it's true. We often pigeonhole the relationships of people who we've interacted and engaged with to those who we have much denser and bigger connection and time with.
Mhm,
Whereas the cashier or the Uber driver or
mhm,
whomever it may be, they're all still pivotal people and being put there strategically
mhm,
for our growth.
mhm. Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
I always like to think if you're in a room and there's maybe one other person or an elevator or a hallway or something, and it's somebody that some people might look down on, like a janitor, or if you're in a bathroom, a ladies' room, and there's a lady in there cleaning, and someone looks down on them, I think, what if they were having a health crisis? And the only person in the room that could save them and get help is the lady cleaning the bathroom or the janitor in the hallway. Would you be nice to them? When you think about it like that and you see every person could literally save your life, I think it would make you have a more kind, interactive outlook with those you encounter every day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Which spurs me on to the next question. What is your intentions with your craft?
Oh, my intentions? Well, the first one is it's what I love to do. So when I sit here at my desk for hours and hours and hours and hours on end, I love doing it. In fact, somebody sent me a manuscript to edit the other day, and I hadn't even done a contract that they hadn't even hired me. And I was so deep into editing. I was having so much fun tweaking it, rewriting, tightening up the writing. I realized, wait a minute, they haven't hired me to do this yet, but I was loving it so much. It was fun. When I'm
Right.
coaching people to write a book, it's fun. I love it. I have all this knowledge over so many years of writing 40 plus books. I have
Mm.
all this knowledge to share. And I love that light bulb moment when their eyes light up and they're like, oh, wow, I can do this.
Yeah.
My Goddess Power Show podcast, I love exploring taboo topics that can help people live bigger, better, and bolder, especially women, because we've been so conditioned to stay in a safe zone where we won't be offensive in our speech, behavior, lifestyle choices. Um, we need to break out of that because that keeps us stuck, scared, small, not contributing at our greatest capacity. And so, my mission with that is just to help other people rise up, burst out, break out of the confines that they've been living by, which are miserable.
Mm.
So, my mission is to help myself be free and do what I love
Mm.
to do, and to secondly help other people do that. And when I write my books, Naranjan, I am so happy. My next book is called The Bis Tribe Activating Your Goddess Power. I've been working on it for many years. It's coming out this March and it's available for pre sale at twosisterswriting.com. And the Bis Tribe is about all the things that I use on a daily basis to live and love to my greatest capacity. And
Mm.
I'm teaching all those tools to women who read the book, and I'm going to have a lot of events around it. So, my mission is to help women, especially, find their power,
Mm.
especially if they've been through a lot of um, pain, which we all have. Because in
Yes.
my most painful moment in life, one of them, um, the goddess mission came to me
Mm.
and it's transformed me over many years. And now I'm sharing it with other women.
It's pretty powerful.
Thank
It's
you.
very powerful in terms of not only did you have your own crisis moment, but that you listened to that voice,
Hmm.
that message, that sign, that insight, that wisdom, and did something with it.
Yes. I love the way you said that. It's true. I had just left my ex-husband and I was at the gym, which was my go-to place to burn off anxiety and anger. And some horrible things he had said to me were just going through my head and they were like
Mm.
bouncing around and they wouldn't go away. And I was praying, God, please help me. And I was so upset. And all of a sudden I heard this voice and it came out of nowhere, and it was like this message. It said, "You are goddess." And I've
Mm,
never been into mythology to the point where that just wasn't my thought process. But anyway, what I took it as was this energy of God in the female form saying, I have the power of God inside me to heal and find my power. And it gave me this tremendous peace in that moment,
mm,
peace that I was able to tap into in the most stressful moments of the divorce and aftermath, which were awful.
mm,
And so as I cultivated this energy through meditation, that enabled me to share it with other people. But I had to heal myself first. I had to find that power and figure out how to activate it first, and then be able to share it with other women.
mhm.
Mm.
Pretty profound in
Thanks.
not only going through that, but like I said, finding that whisper and really acting on it, because I'm sure there is many a times for all of us where we've heard something or received some sort of information, but then, oh, I'll do it later.
Right. Right.
I'll do it another time.
Yeah.
It's okay. It'll come back around after
hmm
this. And it
Yeah.
just gets pushed further and further down the list.
hmm And that's when the external living comes into play, where we're living according to other people's expectations or what has always been done or what the traditions are in our family, our culture, our religion. And we just become these robotic clones of what's expected. And it's horrible
Yeah.
and it's miserable. You're not being your true self. Whether your true self is to have purple hair or tattooed arms or leave your lawyer job and become an artist, whatever it is, you should do it responsibly, of course, you know,
Yeah.
but do it. Time is short. People die. I went to 2 funerals last weekend, one after
Mm,
another.
mm,
People die. COVID is back. I mean, I know multiple people with COVID right now. They're
mm.
fine. They're getting better, but COVID was a deadly pandemic. So
Yeah. Yeah.
nothing's guaranteed. So whatever your dreams are, do it.
And that's ultimately it, right? It's these external pieces. I'm going to come back to this guy again
Mm-hmm.
that keep us distracted.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. And also compare-itis. When you go on social media and you say, oh, she looks so beautiful. Her body's perfect. Her clothes are amazing. She has a million followers, blah, blah, blah. And then that can make someone feel so terrible. And that's what's
Mm,
feeding the anxiety epidemic among young women right now. Girls and teenagers and young women are in crisis
yeah.
because of the overwhelming compare-itis on social media. It's horrible.
Yeah.
And we all have to know that we are enough just as we are. We all have the power to be our unique selves. If we don't want to wear makeup, we don't have to. If we don't want to wear the current styles that we don't even like, we don't have to.
That's
We should
right.
do what we want as we are. And fortunately, we do live in a world that allows these freedoms more openly with tattoos, piercings, hair color, clothing,
Mhm.
orientation in terms of who you love. Um,
Yeah.
Fortunately, it's a more free world, but there's also backlash. So, but anyway, we all have to find the courage to be who we are.
And in addition to that, perhaps to step into what is unique about you
Mm-hmm.
and how can you embrace that? Because
Mm-hmm.
as you said earlier, we were having this conversation about curly hair, straight hair, the whole thing. We want you to fit in. So our uniqueness was stepped aside.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whereas if somebody had said to me a couple of decades ago, step into that uniqueness and it'll be a different conversation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So perhaps that's the bigger invitation is find the uniqueness rather than finding a similarity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I love the way you said that. So a lot of times that thing that makes you most unique is the most difficult thing we grapple with. for example, me being mixed race. As a kid, like
Mm.
I said, I was not comfortable talking about it. It wasn't until I was in college that I found the confidence to talk about it and celebrate it, um, as a journalist, and then as an author, and then as a speaker. But that
Yeah,
was the most difficult thing I was dealing with, and, it became a PowerPoint for me.
right,
So, it
right.
takes some healing and courage to face whatever the issue is that enables you. So, we have 2 authors with schizophrenia. They
Mm.
both wrote amazing books about their journey of diagnosis, treatment, the treatments. There's all kinds of medications that do or don't work, their whole journey with it. And they found their power, their message in a horrific crisis that they
Mm.
both suffered, but
Mhm.
finally got stability and productivity and accomplishment once it was controlled.
Mhm.
So they took their horrific diagnoses of schizophrenia and wrote amazing books and have powerful lives and messages now.
Yeah. Anything is possible, right?
Yes. Yeah, I'm in
When
a
we
movie called Anything is Possible.
Oh, are you really?
Yes. It's a happy family movie. It's about hope, and it's streaming on Amazon and Peacock, I believe. Anything is Possible
Oh my
with Ethan
gosh.
Bortnick, the music phenom. Yeah.
Wow. That's wow, Elizabeth, you never said that, but okay, we will put that in the notes for sure for people to go in and
Thank
watch it
you.
for sure. Yeah,
Thanks.
absolutely. How were you able to identify that this is your craft? So how come it wasn't being an advocate and being a lawyer or empowering people through their numbers and being an accountant or being an artist? How did you know it was writing?
Wow, great question. When I was at the University of Michigan, I was pre-med. I was really smart in AP Bio in high school, and I got all A's at a high college prep high school. But when I got to college, I flunked chemistry twice, I flunked physics, and I bombed algebra. So I could not be a pre-med student. And my dear friend, who's now a spine surgeon, he said, "Why don't you try the Michigan Daily, the newspaper?" So I went to the campus paper and I wrote a story, and it was about the shortage of housing on campus, which I thought was so boring. And then the next morning, when my article ran, I was walking down the crowded hallway after class, and I heard some girls talking about my article. And I
Hmm.
was like, oh my gosh, I wrote that, and now people are talking about it. So I fell in love with journalism right then.
Wow.
And so I stayed at the Daily, reporter, editor. I got internships at newspapers, including the San Diego paper, went to New York, Columbia University, master's in journalism,
Mm.
Detroit news reporter right out of the gate, first job. Then I started writing books. So I knew there was power in storytelling in media and books. I knew it was transformative to the way people think, live, make laws, so I wanted to be part of that. I wanted to influence people in a positive way. And the Detroit News hired me as their race relations reporter, and
Mm.
I was writing stories about race back in the 90s when people were just starting to pay attention to diversity
Mm.
in the newsroom and on the news pages. So I was really part of a trailblazing era. And then I heard people in the newsroom say my stories were helping our relations in the workplace. So I was like, wow, if it's helping people at work, it's certainly helping readers out in the world. And then writing books about race took it to a whole nother level, talking about being mixed race with my characters. That was a whole nother thing. My book, Dark
Mm.
Secret, one of my best-selling books, is a fictional story, but it's about a woman hiding her race, passing for white. And it's a juicy, juicy story about scandal and all kinds of things, suspense. But I have
Wow.
fun with it.
Mhm.
But how did I know? And then, oh, that evolved. People started asking me, will you write this book for me?
Mm.
And I wrote the book with Billy D. Williams called Twilight. And then people asked me to ghostwrite their books. And ultimately, that's how my sister and I started our company, because she
Right.
brought the business side to us, and I brought the
Right.
creative experience of ghostwriting for people. I like to call it angel writing, but people know what
Yes.
the term ghostwriting means, where you
Yes.
hire someone to write the book for them,
That's right.
and their name goes on the cover, which I don't care. I did the job.
Yeah.
And so uh, that's
Wow.
how I just
It's
over the
beautiful.
years, I love it. I love words. I love verbs. I get really excited. I love storytelling. Now I get invited to do my podcast at events around town where people
Ooh.
have me as part of the event, interviewing people to tell their
Ooh.
story. I've done a golf outing, a white party, a Christmas party. It's just exciting to be
Yes.
out, doing that, and a pool party fashion show. There was a
Wow.
charity event. It's really fun. The interviews are on the Goddess Power Show's YouTube channel and Two Sisters Writing and Publishing's YouTube channel.
Right. How beautiful and how pivotal that particular person was in your life at that time.
Oh my gosh, he's still my dear friend. And he's so proud of me and I'm so proud of him because he actually became a spine surgeon. Yep, but I am a healer.
Yes.
I'm a healer with these hands when I
That's
write,
right. That's right.
you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
How powerful. And I think sometimes we overlook some of those angels that come into our lives and give us a different trajectory on life or present us with a possibility that we may not have even considered.
Yes, that is so beautifully said. Absolutely.
Yeah, I love
Wow.
it. I love it. So, my final question,
Okay.
what's next?
Oh, what's next? Okay,
What's
what's next?
next for you? What else is coming down the
Yes.
pipe?
It's my book, The Biz Tribe, Activating Your Goddess Power, and all the events that go with it, which is going to be online retreats, the Goddess Power Retreat, which I've done many times virtually, but I'm going to start doing in-person
Ooh,
retreats where I apply all this information with the tools that include meditation, energy clearing, all the manifestation techniques that I use to manifest magically in my life, especially using journaling and the power journal technique that I created, which combines meditation and journaling.
mm,
And actually, my sister, oh, I don't have it here. My sister Catherine and I created workbooks called Power Journal that
mm.
teach this method that helped me lose 100 pounds, helped me get
Wow,
on TV shows like Oprah and Montel, helped me write all
wow.
these books, helped me find peace, helped me power through the divorce, helped me survive some major disappointments where I was very depressed. Um, so,
Yeah,
Naranjan, I'm going to be teaching all of this in my women's community, the Goddess Power community, where I'm going to be transforming them, these women, from the inside out, just the way I did through the work that I've done.
yes. And how powerful. And
Thank
how
you.
powerful. And what better leader or support or guide could you have other than you who has been through it? Because I think the caveat there is for so many is we get other people to support us who haven't truly been through it. They might be halfway through or maybe on the tail end of it, of a journey and experience a trauma, but yet they've got people behind them and they don't really know what that guidance really looks like because they're not clear and free out of the other side.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think it's really pivotal to highlight you've been through it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. If you can't haven't been tested, you can't testify.
That's fair. That's fair. And
And
it's
when someone's teaching or mentoring me, I want somebody who's been through it. I want
mhm,
somebody who rose up from the bottom and
right.
applied what they're talking about to serve as proof that their method works.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So important, so powerful, but it all sounds really exciting. You're gonna have to keep me
Thank you.
posted on this stuff because I'm excited for you. I'm excited of how life has unfolded for you in morphing your craft in other ways to hold that bigger mission
Mm-hmm.
to support others on theirs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I love
Thank
that.
you.
I love that so
Thank you,
much.
Naranjan.
I always love talking to you, Elizabeth. We always have such a delicious conversation and some laughs along the way. So I appreciate
Yes.
you, and I look forward to how this is all going to roll out and what's next after that. So
Yes, thank you, thank you. And I just want to say, Naranjan, I haven't seen you in a couple years, but you look absolutely radiantly beautiful.
thank
You
you.
look so great. Like your skin is
Thank you.
glowing, your hair is spectacular. You look awesome.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
TLC, this is what happens when we take care of ourselves on the inside, it reflects on the outside.
Well, whatever you've done, you look like another person. I want to
Thank you.
celebrate that about you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
I'm excited for you, and we will be in touch.
I'm so grateful, Naranjan. Thank you, and I wish you the absolute best.
And you too.
Thank you.
I'm Naranjan, and you've been listening to Master of Your Crafts podcast. Please subscribe, rate, and review, and join me next week for another episode. Thank you for listening.